days. So that's actually a good idea as a way to begin with the energy of flow. The energy of the heart is the energy of flow. So what I would like to do now is I'd like to invite you, all of you who are here, to put your right hand on your heart and then your left hand on top of your right. And let's take a deep breath. And imagine that there's a golden downpouring like a shower from above, pouring all the way down through your crown, as if it's filling this column of light that surrounds you, all the way filling your heart with this golden energy of peace, of stillness, of softness. And as you feel this, begin to feel that softness within the center of your heart. The warmth, that gold. That place of peace where nothing can harm you, nothing disturbs you. Complete equanimity, filled with gold. And that gold continues all the way through this column, through your feet, through your seat, reaching down all the way to the center of Mother Earth. That beautiful energy of providing us with everything we need, a great mother, filling us with her gratitude for us and our gratitude for her. Every single mineral, every single element that makes up this body comes from Mother Earth. And so we give thanks for her nurturing, her love. And we feel this energy of groundedness, of stability. We feel that energy of being an anchor rooted within Mother Earth, within our bodies, connecting heaven from above and earth through the heart, that very center. And then I'd like you to feel the threads from your heart begin to reach out like golden fibers to weave together with the threads of everybody here. And then with your loved ones, and your family, and your friends, your creatures. A beautiful fabric that is beginning to be woven of all of these heart threads. And it expands. It begins to encompass other hearts that you don't know. People, creatures within our cities, our states, on this continent and others, reaching across the oceans, creating a beautiful web, a tapestry made up of the threads of all of our hearts, surrounding Mother Earth with protection, with love, and the restoration that we all hunger for. And so this is the place of center. You can rest your hands. This is the place from which I call the compass. Your compass will always guide you. We have come to a time in the evolution of humanity when it is necessary to live from that soft feminine place of the heart, to live from the intuition of your own inner wisdom, of your own guidance system. For your heart to be your compass, for your heart to be the center of your world, of your reality, especially as we are surrounded by so much illusion and so much delusion and so much of the grand, this disease called fear, this disease that is inculcated and orchestrated to keep people separate. It was never intended for people to be isolated individuals within a structure of control and domination. It was always the destiny of this planet and of all those who are waking up now to become beacons of light, to help to heal the thousands of years of oppression and hardship, of suffering and of horror that has been the norm of your world and has been the cause of so much fear. You have been trained to be fearful from the moment you took your first step and even before. You have been told to be careful. You have been told not to trust strangers, not to touch, not to hug, not to feel, not to cry. All these things that create around you this little ball of fear, which is now needing to be broken apart and dispersed. And so it's time to touch into that place of the heart. It's time to know that this is the source and foundation of your true reality, but also to know that you are connected on this earth. You are connected to the mother below you and the father above, or the other way around, whatever your point of view is. But it is time to be centered, to be grounded, to be fully present within your body so that you can be that anchor, not just for yourself, but for others. For the heart is the guide now for the path of choices that each one has to make as they are faced with this surrounding energy of fear and domination and control for the minority. It is time for you to be a beacon of light, to bring the new earth, to bring the energy of heaven on earth, which is right there in your heart. You have the blueprint. You came here to bring that blueprint. You came here knowing that when the time came, you will need to shine your light and stand in your power. That you would need to be the heart for everyone and for yourself. That you would need to be able to discern what is true and what is not. And you'd be able to access your own inner authority, your self-authority, so that you did not look outside of yourself. The guides and the angels surround you. There are many of them around each one, for they are here helping us at this time. But it's also important to know that they do not dwell on some cloud in some other dimension that is not accessible to you. The heart itself is the place in which you will find those guides and angels. They are within. They are your very core, your essence. They share with you the vibration of all of the multidimensionality of who you truly are. For you are not just this body. You are not just this mind. You are not just your thoughts. Even if your thoughts and your belief systems are what runs the show for you, are what creates your reality. The work of the heart thread, what we call heart thread, is a process of tuning in to the vibrations that have been imprinted into your cells through words, through picking up and absorbing the attitudes, the ways in which people see others, the things you were told about what you can and cannot do, who you are and who you are not, whether you are worthy or not, or beautiful or not, whether the color of your skin or your religion or your sex or gender or your orientation is right or wrong. The heart knows no such thing as right or wrong, good or bad, except when it comes to what is right for you, what is good for you, and what is not. And most people live from the impressions they get and the imprints and conditioning that they receive when they are little, like sponges, and have not the ability to say, no, that's not true. They are downloaded the whole crock of what you might call SHIT. That is not the truth, and that is not the reality of the fact that you are God's love. You are an expression of the love of God or Goddess. You are that divinity, and all of those accretions control how you think, see, act, and respond, and sometimes react. And so it is possible to divest yourself of all of those imprints, and especially of those voices that run around in the head, because they're not you. They are just the words that were spoken to you, that you believed. And so your mind keeps telling you that you can't. Your head keeps saying, oh, I must figure it out. I've got to figure out what's going on here. But you're going to the wrong place. So when you put your hands on your heart, you're shifting location. You are going to that place where that rest, that stillness, that golden energy of peace resides. You are going into a quantum reality where time does not exist, where you can be in more than one place at the same time, where you have access to all of your lifetimes, whether they be parallel or past. You have access to the understanding that you are, in essence, divinity itself. Divinity or God or Goddess does not exist on some cloud outside of you. The many mythologies that you have been taught, the stories, are just stories to help you to go back into your heart. The world is now governed by a rampant technology, by a rampant awareness that is based on the male hierarchical orientation, that everything can be done through the mind. And the divine feminine is actually being asked now to return to this planet to help to create a balance of that softness, that receptivity, that inner knowing, that intuition that is so sorely needed now, not to dominate or to take over from the masculine energy, but to bring about that harmony of the two being working together as a oneness. For you are, in fact, masculine and feminine, and you have those aspects all in a combination that transcends the one or the other. And it's important to be able to balance them. And one of the most important ways that you can do that is by placing your hands on your heart and taking a breath. There is nothing that cannot have an elegant solution when the answers come from the heart. When you access that divine wisdom and divine guidance of the angelic beings, of the guides and helpers that are within you and that surround you. And so we would recommend that you take that moment each day. Each time you notice the shoulders rising, you take that breath and you let go. All of that stuff can be released just like that in the moment. There is no need to carry stress. Stress is the greatest killer. And stress and speed, urgency, hurry, all are aspects that contribute to stress and contribute to dis-ease and to a state of feeling fear, of feeling like you are out of control. Of course you are. If you allow your higher being, your heart, to be in control, at the reins, at the helm, then you, who you think you are, your personality, your ego, does not need to be in control, because it truly does not have the ability to see ahead, to see the bigger picture. It does not have the ability to feel. And so the head, the mind, needs to serve the heart so that they can work together, so that you can understand from that inner place, from that breath, what your next step is, how you would respond. For every response that comes from a judgment, that comes from a sense of having a, looking for that word, assumption. We make so many assumptions. We think this one likes us and we think that one doesn't. We think that we can't trust this or that. These are assumptions based on illusions of separation. So abandon your assumptions. Abandon all the belief systems that are related to and derived from separation, because they will not serve you. Go into your heart as frequently as you can. There is nothing wrong with you. Remind yourself that you are perfect just the way you are, and that, in fact, you have nothing to worry about if you trust, because trust is a space that knows that the heart has the answers, that understands that you are always guided, that you are always protected when you come from that space of the heart. It is a feeling energy. It is not emotion. It is a higher level of vibration that transcends emotion. And yet, emotions are part of the human experience. And when they show up, essentially, they are asking you to look at some imbalance, especially at the old imprints that are running around and that have become the way in which you see, that lens through which you see your life. And it is possible to see clearly, to have that place of clarity, so that you can make clear agreements with everyone in your life. So there's no fuzziness. There's no mistake. Oh, I said this. No, you didn't. But you know what? We didn't write it down. So what you think is not what I think. When you have a clear agreement with someone and you write it down, you have a clear boundary and you say, here's my line. Don't step over it. I don't compromise. I hold my integrity strong. I keep my word. And so I am a spiritual warrior. This is the book. The book is a book of 12 voices of different perspectives, from different mythologies, different time frames. It is the story of humankind seen through the eyes of different perspectives. And there are many perspectives. But now is the time to be the spiritual warrior. It is the time to come from that place of your inner power, which derives from your connection between heaven and earth, with your heart in the center, and with your mind in the service of the heart. Your mind, your body, and your heart are all aspects of the full wholeness of who you are. They must work together cooperatively as partners for your life to run smoothly. The angels are always saying they wish for each of us to have grace, ease, abundance, happiness, joy, to thrive. This is the birthright of the human being. And what keeps it from that are the fears and the thoughts, the programming, the ideas of not being good enough, not deserving, something wrong with me, all those voices that are now ready to get kicked out and sent on their way. They are all illusions. They have no reality within the divinity of who you are. And so we ask you each day to take that breath, to anchor, to create that column of light, to go into the heart, connect with heaven, with source, that divine spark that animates your body. Connect with Mother Earth that gave you all those elements, this incredible miracle of the body. Connect with that space of the other hearts that surround you, of your guides and angels. And take that column of light that we created at the beginning, expand it out into this golden sphere that keeps you safe, that is impenetrable to the dark or the negative forces, to the imprints from outside. And that allows you to have that inner space of clarity, of grace, of ease, and composure. When everyone is running around like chickens with their head cut off, and you are in that stillness, perhaps the no space or the Tao, or the center of that white hole, that connection between universes and dimensions that you can go into when you go into your heart, into the stillness. Usually all it takes is a breath. Feel that softness upon your shoulders, beginning to warm everything, to soften, to let go of all that weight, of all the expectations that your parents placed upon you, to be responsible for them, for your ancestors, for the religious mispractices and misconstrued ways of seeing the universe that was inculcated, that was orchestrated and engineered when all of your holy books were written, when the male took over from the goddess and re-indoctrinated everyone's minds into an upside-down way of seeing the world. It is time for the resurgence of the divine feminine, but also for the human feminine. It is time to honor the women and the feminine energy within the male. It is time to come together in harmony, to sit around in circles, to tell your story and then let go of it, to share your concerns and then let go of them, to understand that each human carries their baggage upon their back and can let go of it just like that, in the moment, in the breath. The process of heart thread is simple. We go into the heart and we receive messages. And the messages we receive replace the old illusionary ones, the falsehoods, the misconstrued ideas of who we are that have come down from centuries of conditioning, from father to son and mother to daughter, from ancestors, from priests and rabbis, and from all those in control, from all the hierarchies, from the patriarchal lineages that have taken over the worship of the heart of Mother Earth and of simplicity and of being natural. It is time for you each day, if possible, to go into nature, to hear the birds, feel the warmth upon your face and your shoulders, feel the breeze in your hair, listen to the sounds of the stream, get your hands dirty with the mud and the soil, to feel your groundedness and your connection with the roots of the trees and the canopy and that beautiful trunk, to rest up against that tree and feel the life force energy that rises and connects the canopies one with the other, connects all life, for you are not disconnected from life. It is time for you to drink only healthy, pure water, to let go of sugar and all the other addictions that keep you from being pure in your heart and from your body. Remember this innocence and purity of your childhood. Remember how fun it was to play, how much you loved freely, and how much you needed that reassurance. Give it to yourself. Remind yourself how beautiful you are. Look in the mirror and see only beauty. See that little boy, that little girl again. Take them on your lap and tell them how much you love them, how precious they are. Imagine if every child was told how wonderful and beautiful and magnificent they are, and how capable they were or are of being and doing what their heart desires to make a difference in the world. Imagine if you were brought up that way. You have children and grandchildren. If you do, if you have children around you, tell them, remind them who they are. Let them know. I do not know how much time I have.
We're done. Yeah,
we're done?
Well,
thank you so much. You can visit me in room 10. You can go to my website, raphaelwiseman.com. I'll be happy to show you Shungai here around me, and I'll be happy to do many sessions, answer your questions. Know that the angels are with you and love you, and so do I. God bless.
Beautiful.